The FIFA World Cup, often simply called the World Cup, is an international association football competition contested by the senior men's national teams of the members of the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, the sport's global governing body. The championship has been awarded every 4 years since the inaugural tournament in 1930, except in 1942 and 1946 when it was not held because of the Second World War. The current champions are France, who won their second title at the 2018 tournament in Russia. The current format involves a qualification phase, which takes place over the preceding 3 years, to determine which teams qualify for the tournament phase. In the tournament phase, 32 teams, including the automatically qualifying host nation, compete for the title at venues within the host nation over about a month. As of the 2018 FIFA World Cup, 21 final tournaments have been held and a total of 79 national teams have competed. The trophy has been won by 8 national teams. Brazil have won 5 times, and they are the only team to have played in every tournament. The other World Cup winners are Germany and Italy, with 4 titles each, Argentina, France, and inaugural winner Uruguay, with 2 titles each, and England and Spain, with 1 title each. The World Cup is the most prestigious association football tournament in the world, as well as the most widely viewed and followed single sporting event in the world. The cumulative viewership of all matches of the 2006 World Cup was estimated to be 26.29 billion, with an estimated 715.1 million people watching the final match, a ninth of the entire population of the planet. 17 countries have hosted the World Cup. Brazil, France, Italy, Germany, and Mexico have each hosted twice, while Uruguay, Switzerland, Sweden, Chile, England, Argentina, Spain, the United States, Japan, and South Korea, South Africa, and Russia have each hosted once. Qatar will host the 2022 tournament, and 2026 will be jointly hosted by Canada, the United States, and Mexico, which will give Mexico the distinction of being the first country to host games in 3 World Cups. History. The Greek Cup under EPO began in 1931. In its early years, entry was optional. Teams were paired against each other by the football associations, without a draw taking place. Later on, for many years, a proper draw took place and also 2-legged matches were added. The participation of Olympiacos and Panathinaikos in the final 1962 is counted for both as the presence of a finalist, since the match was stopped due to darkness in overtime. Due to the incidents between the players of the 2 teams, the incidents in the stands, the excessive delays and the suspicion that all this was intentional for the match to be repeated and for the teams to make bigger profits, the GGA Council decided to punish the EPO with a reprimand and banned the replay of the match as a penalty for both teams until 1964. If the final score was a draw, the 2 teams played a replay match, while penalties didn't exist. That year, in the semi-final between Panathinaikos and Olympiacos, fans of both teams stormed the pitch, damaged the football field and virtually stopped the game, believing that it was fixed to end in a draw, in order to be replayed for financial reasons. Both teams were ejected from the competition and therefore, in 1964 AEK won the title, but the final match was not held. AEK also won in similar fashion in 1966 when Olympiacos did not show up in the final. In 1965, a new rule was applied, to determine that, if the game was undecided even after extra time, the winner would be determined by the toss of a coin. Panathinaikos won this way in the 1969 final against Olympiacos. Afterwards the penalty shootout was applied. Until 1971, teams from all over the country, professional and amateur, had been taking part. Each team first played against clubs from its own association and the winners continued in a nationwide competition. Due to this, strong professional sides met amateur neighborhood teams, sometimes beating them with high scores. A 23-0 win in an Apollon Athens vs Pau Neas Melondios match on September 23, 1959 remains a record win for the Greek Cup until today. Since 1971, only teams from professional divisions are allowed to participate, while amateur clubs take part in the Amateur Cup. In 1991 and 1992 the finals were two-legged matches. It is widely considered that the most exciting match in the history of the competition was the 2009 final between Olympiacos and AEK. Cup winners. 11 clubs have won the Greek Cup. Notes. In the periods 1933-38 and 1940-46, the competition was not held. In 1961-62, final match between Olympiacos and Panathinaikos was interrupted. In 1963-64 and 1965-66, final matches were not held. Statistical paradox: 80 editions of the competition, 79 concluded with a cup winner, 78 finals. Performance by club: 19 clubs have reached the Greek Cup final.